Why do you fall in love? The answer is not what you think. You've felt it before. An instant, magnetic connection with a stranger. A feeling so powerful it feels like fate, like you've known them your whole life. You've also felt the opposite, an instant, unexplainable aversion to someone. We're taught that love is a choice based on personality, kindness, or shared interests. But the great psychologist Carl Jung spent his life uncovering a deeper truth. He discovered that the most powerful attractions have very little to do with the other person, and everything to do with a hidden, unconscious process happening deep inside your own mind. Understanding this is the key to moving from painful, confusing relationships to profound, conscious love. Today, we are going to decode the two great secrets of attraction according to Jung. This isn't just dating advice, it's a journey into the hidden architecture of your own soul. And once you see it, you will never look at love or rejection in the same way again. The first reason we fall so intensely for someone is not because of who they are, but because of who we are not. Here's the core idea. We all have parts of ourselves that we have repressed or neglected. It could be our creativity, our strength, our vulnerability, our playfulness. These are the lost parts of our own soul. Then, we meet someone who seems to embody that exact quality we've lost. Suddenly, we feel an incredible pull. We feel seen. We feel complete in their presence. But as Jung realized, we are not falling in love with them. We are falling in love with a reflection of our own missing self. Their presence allows us to feel whole again, even if it's just for a moment. This is a psychological phenomenon called projection. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato, in his Symposium, wrote that love is the search for our other half. Jung would agree, but with a critical twist, that other half is not another person. It is a lost part of our own psyche. Imagine a man, David, who grew up in a chaotic and unstable home. To survive, he had to become hyper-responsible and suppress his own need for spontaneity and joy. One day, he meets a woman, Sarah, who is a free-spirited artist. She's creative, playful, and lives in the moment. David is instantly infatuated. He thinks he loves her, but on a deeper, unconscious level, he is falling in love with the feeling of freedom and playfulness she awakens in him, the very parts of himself he was forced to abandon as a child. When he says, "I love you," the unconscious subtext is, "I love who I am when I am near you." This is why these early attractions feel so magical. It's a reunion with a lost part of our own soul, but it's a borrowed wholeness, and that is where the danger begins. This second layer of attraction is even deeper and explains why so many fated relationships end in confusion and pain. It's not just that we project a missing part of ourselves, it's that we cast the other person in a pre-written role from our own unconscious script. We all carry an emotional blueprint shaped by our childhood, our past wounds, and our unmet needs. In this blueprint, there are characters we are desperately seeking. The savior, the perfect parent, the muse, the one who will finally fix us. When we meet someone who vaguely fits the costume for one of these roles, we don't see them at all. We see the character we need them to be. The modern example? Think of a woman, Emily, who feels powerless and stuck in her career. She meets a man, Mark, who is a charismatic and successful entrepreneur. He's decisive and powerful. Emily unconsciously casts him in the role of the rescuer. He projects his own hero archetype onto her. The relationship is intense and intoxicating, as long as they both play their parts. He saves her from her problems, and she makes him feel strong and needed. But then, Emily starts to grow. She finds her own strength. She starts making her own decisions. She no longer needs a rescuer. Suddenly, she has stopped following Mark's script. He looks at her and says, "You've changed." He's right, but not in the way he thinks. She hasn't betrayed him. She has simply outgrown the role he needed her to play. The fantasy has shattered, and the relationship, which was built on a shared illusion, collapses. This is what Jung meant when he famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." The person you feel fated to be with is often not a soulmate, but a character your unconscious has cast to repeat an old story. So, what exactly is this missing self, or hidden character, that we are projecting? Jung gave it a name. He taught that within every human psyche, there is a biological and psychological counterpoint. In every man, there is an inner feminine archetype, which he called the anima. The anima represents a man's capacity for feeling, connection, creativity, and intuition. In every woman, there is an inner masculine archetype, which he called the animus. The animus represents a woman's capacity for logic, action, assertiveness, and reason. In our society, men are often taught to repress their anima, their feeling side, and women are often taught to repress their animus, their assertive side. So what happens? A man who is cut off from his own feelings and creativity will be unconsciously searching for his lost anima. He will then project it onto a woman who embodies those qualities and become completely infatuated. He is not seeing her, he's seeing his own soul. Likewise, a woman who is disconnected from her own power and assertiveness may project her animus onto a man who seems to embody those qualities. This is the psychological engine behind so many intense love at first sight attractions. It is a powerful spiritual experience, but it is an internal one. You are not falling in love with another person. You are being mesmerized by a forgotten part of yourself. This is why the passion in these relationships often fades. It's not that the love has died, it's that the projection has served its purpose. It has shown you what is missing inside of you. At this point, you have a choice: to blame the other person for changing, or to do the real work of withdrawing that projection and developing that quality within yourself. So, if so much of what we call love is just a trick of the mind, what does real, conscious love look like? Carl Jung was not a relationship coach. His goal was always individuation, the journey of becoming a whole, complete individual. The path to real love is not about finding the perfect person to complete you. It's about doing the inner work to complete yourself. As the poet Rumi wrote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." When you begin this inner work, when you integrate your own shadow, when you as a man connect with your inner anima, when you as a woman connect with your inner animus, everything changes. Love is no longer a desperate attempt to fill a void. It becomes an overflow of your own fullness. You stop looking for a rescuer because you have learned to save yourself. You stop needing to be needed because you are secure in your own worth. You stop falling for a fantasy because you are no longer afraid of reality. This is when true love becomes possible. It is a calm, clear-eyed, and conscious connection. You choose someone not because they complete you, but because they complement you. You love them for who they actually are, with all their flaws and imperfections, not for the role you need them to play. And for the first time, you allow them to do the same for you. You allow yourself to be seen truly and completely, without a mask. The person you are most intensely attracted to is often a map, pointing the way to the lost treasures within your own soul. The ultimate journey is not to possess the map maker, but to follow the map back to yourself,